What's going on, everybody? My name is Greg Peters. You are tuned into the Car Passion channel, and today I'll be installing a catch can on the turbo Miata. It's a kind of simple install, but I get a lot of questions about catch cans. There are a couple different ways to set them up for different reasons. I'll be discussing all that as well as getting this one installed. So first, let me open this up and show you how it works. This unit in particular is a 2-port Mishimoto. It's got an in port and an out port. It comes with a little mounting bracket and a plugged port in the bottom in case you are going to drain your catch can back into your oil pan, which I am opting not to do. I'll be doing it traditional style, which is just to remove the can and dump out the oil. The inner workings are pretty simple. You've got your in port here and just an open hole. That's where the oil vapor or oil will come into the can. This right here is just a splash shield, so if you get a lot of oil in the can, the oil can't splash up to the top where your return port to the intake manifold will be. And you've also got the little, I don't really know what it's called, like a bronze filter or something like that, sintered filter. That doesn't let the oil vapor back into the intake manifold. You just want straight air going into your intake manifold, no oil. So that's kind of the concept of a catch can, is you can run either PCV or breather system through it, and it will separate out the air and the oil and let only air back into your intake manifold. I'll be running this catch can as a basic PCV intercept. So as part of my system, I have a Mazda 323 GTX PCV valve. There's a part number for you in case you want to pick one up. Even if you're not running a catch can, it's really recommended to run this PCV valve on a turbo Miata. It's got metal internals. It's a lot better quality than the stock Miata PCV valve. So if you're boosted, consider this. It's only about 20 bucks. It's a good investment. Now when you mount the catch can, make sure you've got enough room to unthread it and drop it out and actually pull it out of the car. If you have to tip it to get it out, you're gonna be dumping oil everywhere, and that's a bad time. So this is kind of cool. When you put the screws in, you've got a range of rotation, so you can kind of point it whatever direction you want. Normally, the PCV system simply goes from the port in the valve cover. You got a PCV valve, and it goes right into the manifold. Now the problem with that is, while the motor is pulling vacuum on the crankcase, it could be getting oil vapors through the PCV valve into the manifold. That's what I want to avoid. So my system is going to be from the valve cover, PCV valve, into the catch can, through the catch can, and then back into the manifold. It's just going to be a PCV intercept. It's simply making the stock PCV system a little bit better, but it does have a disadvantage. When the engine goes into boost, it's going to shut off that PCV valve, and it's not going to let the blow-by through the PCV system. It leaves this single breather right here responsible for relieving all the blow-by from the engine. I plan on just running that to atmosphere for now, which I'm hoping is going to be enough. Optimally, you'll want to connect that to your intake pre-turbo, so not in one of the charged intercooler pipes, but pre-compressor. That way when the car goes into boost, it's actually pulling slight vacuum on the crankcase, and it's helping alleviate some of that blow-by. But if you just hook that directly up to your intake piping, it does have the chance of ejecting oil vapor directly into the turbo, which gets into your intercooler piping, which gets into the motor, and that's what you want to avoid. So another place to run a catch can is between the breather and the intercooler piping. What I may end up doing is just running a second catch can over on this side. So any path that oil can take from the crankcase into the intake manifold will be intercepted by a catch can. Some people will also run this breather and the PCV valve into a ventilated catch can. That's the type of catch can that's got a little breather filter on top of it, and that just gives the engine two places to breathe from, and they delete the PCV valve completely. First things first, I'll get my GTX PCV valve into the valve cover. That is a very tight fit. It's a brand new Pcv Grommet. Now you do have to pay attention to the routing of the lines. You've got to go from the PCV valve to the inlet of the catch can. and the can is labeled. I know this back port is the inlet. Then we'll go from the outlet of the can to the intake manifold. So what I'm doing here is feeding this line underneath the manifold. That, well, not overly fancy. It works. Most important thing is that it's routed correctly. So there's my progress so far. It's looking a little bit like Medusa over there compared to when I first dropped the motor in, but from the very beginning, I never promised this was going to be a tucked engine bay. I promised it was going to be a functional engine bay. So if you want a tucked bay on your Miata, you should probably build an ITB motor, to be honest, not a high horsepower turbo motor. There's just so much piping and tubing and everything to get everything in properly that there's no way to make it look ultra clean. Alright guys, well there's a short little video on catch cans for you. If there's anything I missed or I got wrong, let me know down in the comments below. I always appreciate your guys' advice because frankly there's a lot of people out there that know way more than I do, and I like to hear from those people. Pretty much where I'm at with the car right now is a lot of little things are starting to come together very quickly. So I'm trying to shoot these little videos and keep you guys as up to date as possible, leading right up to the first start. And one of the next big things I've got to do is the exhaust install. I have been super excited about getting this system on and seeing how it looks on the car. I mean, I know it's gonna be beautiful, but seeing it on the car is gonna be a whole nother level of awesome. So let's get that installed. We still gotta get the Megasquirt in there. A couple other tiny things that I'm gonna shoot quick videos on, and it'll be time to start the car. I don't have intercooler piping done yet. I will be starting the car and probably breaking it in with no intercooler piping. No, you don't need boost to break the car in, so I'll probably break it in NA, and then I actually have to drive the car to get the intercooler piping done. I'm having something pretty cool done with the intercooler piping. You guys will see that pretty soon. And that's pretty much it. If you learned something, don't forget to throw a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.
Back from the dead.